Hi, everybody. This is Pastor Mark. I'm bringing a midweek message to you. It's coming from me and from Silas, this guy right here. Silas is my daughter's dog, and we are dog sitting for a couple of days. I've been thinking about what would I share with you this week to encourage you. I'm going to start with Acts chapter 16 because it says there that at midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, which that may not seem remarkable, but what is remarkable is that they were singing hymns and praying to God in prison. That passage always affects me because I don't know if I would be in a singing mood if I'm in prison. And yet, these two men of God were singing praises to God in the midst of their difficult circumstances. And it also says that the prisoners were listening to them. So not only are they praising God in a worship service, so to speak, in prison, but they are also, by virtue of that, being a witness to their prison community. I've been thinking that in the midst of the multiple crises that we face in our own communities and our country, that we ourselves can still be a great witness for Jesus Christ as we pray to him, as we worship him, as we let faith conquer fear. Well, I've been thinking about this Silas, not just the Paul and Silas in prison, but this Silas, my daughter's dog. You know, this guy is so loyal, it is unbelievable. And that too makes me think of Paul and Silas in prison, because in spite of their circumstances, they are still being loyal to God. Silas, the dog, he is so faithful and so trusting and so loyal. If I go upstairs and put clothes in the laundry, he sits outside the door on the floor waiting for me until I finish. If I go down the hall and go to the restroom, he sits outside the door and he waits for me. And then I just found out today, when I came home for lunch, Jan says, you know, Silas pays no attention to me. He sits in this living room and he waits for you, Mark, to come home. Man, that is so humbling to me, because it really is just amazing that there's a creature on the earth that is so loyal. And that's what he is. And I think of Paul and Silas and how they were so loyal to the Lord. And then I think of Silas, the big brown dog, and I'm learning even from him. It's almost like he has a sermon for us, the sermon from Silas, that if we will just remain loyal to our master, we can trust him. We can still be happy. We can still be encouraged. The other thing that I think about with Silas the dog is that he trusts me. He knows that I'm going to have food for him. He knows that I'm going to have water for him. He knows that when I get home, I'm going to take him for a walk. This dog is loyal to me, but he also knows that I am loyal to him. I hope that we can get the sermon from Silas, that God is always loyal to us, and he is always going to provide for us no matter what the circumstances we are in. But the other thing that I learned from Silas is that he is loyal to his master, and he has reminded me to stay loyal to my master, Jesus Christ, to keep worshiping him, to keep praying to him, to keep being a witness for him no matter where I go. I don't want to end up in prison someday, to be honest with you. But I do hope that if it came to that, that the trials that I am facing in this life, when they come, will prepare me to always be loyal to Jesus Christ with his help, so that I can be a testimony to him. Well, let's learn from Paul and Silas in the Bible about the loyalty of God and us being loyal to him. And let us also be reminded about that from this guy right here, my good friend, Silas, the big brown dog. Have a good afternoon. I'll talk to you soon.